Hello and welcome to Gunthrex Travels. Wanted to do a second video as a follow-up to our first one where I kind of introduced myself. As I said, I want to kind of give you guys some information about where we are right now versus where we're trying to get to. So this is going to be kind of a chronicle of kind of where we're starting and then hopefully some projects and things like that along the way as we hopefully move towards actually getting on the road. So you can go back and watch the first video to find out who I am, how I got here, all of that kind of stuff. Today's video is going to be a tour of our actual unit. So let's go ahead, hop into that, and we'll switch you guys around and start there. So I bought the 2019 29DDBH. So as you can see, that's the model number there. So what that means is that it's a 29-foot interior actual trailer, but and the BH is for the bunkhouse. So it had, we'll talk about that in a minute, it had the bunk beds in the back. But yeah, I want to give you a little tour of the outside, kind of give you guys an idea of what it looks like. Got a really nice big fat awning over there that covers the kitchen slide, which is what that is right there. Nice back exterior kitchen that allows us to do some things. I've been mostly using it to store our fire pit. We pull that out whenever we want to do fire, the fire pit and marshmallows and s'mores and all of that stuff. It's got a nice little stove that slides out. Got a marine grade grill on the back here, but I do want to swap that out for something that mounts to the bumper and can kind of swing out. That's kind of my ultimate goal for that. Got furnace controls and some exterior power and TV stuff. And then you got the front door here, obviously. Got a full-on pass-through storage, just like most RVs do. It's a little full of stuff right now, but you know, my plan. We'll talk about a plan. I want to install some shelving in here at some point, but that's one of those things I'll talk about in a future video. And then around the other side, we have our water station here, which I've had to tear this apart because the way it was installed just was not very quality, and I had to pretty much rip everything out and fix it and do it back myself. But as you can see, we have a nice inverter set up back here. I'll talk about that in a separate video. We'll get to that. I've got a nice 13-foot slide here. And when we go inside, you'll see how much that actually makes the interior feel much bigger than it actually is. And then we've got all the sewer outlets over here. Now, as we go through and talk about different things on the trailer, I will be bringing up things that I find to be poor design decisions, and this is one of them. I don't understand the philosophy of having multiple outlets on an RV unless the one that you need to have a separate outlet for is much further up on the trailer. I don't understand why you would have an outlet here and an outlet here right next to each other, especially when all you really had to do was just continue running the line over to this one and join them together, and then have that little, I guess 2-inch pipe, 1.5-inch, 2-inch pipe, whatever that is, just join in somewhere in that whole setup. So I don't know what the purpose of this was. As you can see, I kind of came up with a little adapter setup for it to make it easy to connect these two together. That way I didn't have to have a big V setup that went like way over to where, because I know most of them are going to have your outlets over here, and where I am right now, it actually goes through a fence over there because I'm in a different situation right now. So currently volunteering for the San Diego County Parks and Recreation kind of thing. If you've done any kind of RVing stuff, you're probably aware that there are different organizations that you can go and volunteer for, and they'll provide you with a spot in exchange for a certain amount of work. So that's what I've been doing here, and that's how I am where I am. So I'm not currently in a standard RV spot. I'm in a property that I'm pretty much supervising by myself, which is kind of a pretty sweet deal. Outside of the fact that I live right next to a park, because as you can, there's a big park over here. And then there's another big park. I mean, this is one big park, and it wraps around this property that I'm in. So the property is really nice, but I have to listen to all of this noise, and then there's a bunch of events that happen at this property right now. So it gets kind of obnoxious and annoying at times, but most of the time it's pretty quiet, and most of the time it's nice to kind of just have a spot to ourselves where, you know, we don't have anybody really here, and this is technically kind of by invitation only property, so you don't typically have too many people running through here, you know, kind of making a nuisance of themselves. This particular with a single AC, I don't know if you can see that. It has the option to have the second. Unfortunately, air conditioners are expensive, and I haven't had the money to go buy another one. So yeah, not exactly the best situation, but let's go ahead. You can start seeing some of the things I was talking about when it came to the interior of the unit. So I don't know if the camera actually catches how big this area really feels when you're in it, but because we have this massive 13-foot slide on this one side, and it's directly across from the kitchen that pops itself out, well, this entire area feels like one big cavernous room, even though it's probably only, let's see, it's 8 feet for the actual trailer, then another 3 feet over here, so that's what, 11, plus another 2 feet maybe over here, so it's only, you know, 13, 14 feet across, but that 14 feet actually makes a massive difference in a space like this. So you stand outside and you look at it and it's like, whoa, that's not a very big space, but then you walk inside and you're like, oh, this is actually pretty big. We got the nice big island here in the middle with the dual sinks. We got this little strainer, drainer, whatever you want to call it, unit that actually fits right into the sink. It's actually a perfect size for this. We got lucky and it just happened to be the right size. And we kind of dry our dishes in there and then put them away when we're done. We got the nice kitchen setup over here with the standard gas stove and all that stuff. It's not clean. I wasn't going to clean it for a video. Anybody who lives in this kind of stuff, you know it's not always going to be the cleanest. This actually originally had flip-up doors and some covers on the things here, but I got tired of having to like reach around in here to grab stuff, so I just removed this entire thing and left it open, and I personally prefer it that way. The wife not so much. Standard gas RV fridge, gas electric RV fridge and all of that. Plenty of storage and everything. The bedroom's in there, but that's a private space, so I'm not going to take you there. This is my gaming setup over here, where I actually do my gaming videos for my other channel, which is my primary thing right now. Hopefully this will rise to meet that as well. You can see that the kitchenette that we have here isn't your standard setup. It was originally over here, and over on this side there was a couch, but the couch eventually, one of those cheapy couches, right? Like, it's one of those cheapy couches that they put in an RV to make it seem like it has something nice in it. And within the first year, the seats of it had pretty much sagged and collapsed, and I got rid of that stupid thing and decided I was going to try to figure out something on my own. So what I ended up doing is that since I didn't have a couch over here anymore, I took the dinette that I didn't really use too much for dinette purposes. I was mostly using it to, I ended up mostly using it to sit down once the couch was gone, and just kind of slid it over here. I had to remove the backing that was over here because it was up against the wall. But I removed that, and then this is what we have here. But we'll talk about this in another video. I do plan to replace everything along this slide with a custom solution that I have in the back of my head. We'll talk about that in another video, and I'll try to figure out a good way to convey that idea to you. Then we move back here. This right here is where the bunk beds used to be. As you can see, there's a bunch of exposed stuff, and I've intentionally left it kind of cluttered and messy because we have plans for this. You can see we got the all-in-one washer and dryer. I don't want to say I highly recommend it because we've only had it for, I don't know, a few months at this point. But so far, it actually has been a pretty good little unit. It's a ventless unit that pipes the water up. You're supposed to pipe it up into the sink, but I've run it through the wall and into my shower so that I can make sure it's not going to flood anything because I didn't really have anywhere to go. And then we got a little lint catcher there at the bottom that's kind of gross, but it keeps it out of the shower drain, which is very nice. But yeah, one of the projects we'll talk about is what I want to do with this space. But for now, I'll give you just a little teaser of this is what it looks like now. It will not look like this forever. This is actually the first project that we want to do once we actually are able to start getting done with that stuff. We have the bathroom in here with a nice sink and the shower and the standard toilet and some pantry space, or not pantry, linen closet space. And then we got the really nice fantastic fans for both of the openings in the trailer. So yeah, that's the entire trailer. This is what we have set up right now. I'm kind of, okay, the camera's off to the left of my phone here, so sorry if I'm not looking straight at you, but it is what it is. But yeah, I wanted to give you a quick tour of the trailer before I start talking about any of the projects that we want to do, because it's kind of hard to know what the projects are when you don't really know anything about the trailer. So it's a Winnebago 29DDBH. You can look it up and find some stock versions of that if you're interested in what that looks like. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and close out this video and then eventually start getting on into some of the projects that I've already done, and then some of the future projects that we want to get done. So go ahead, click that like button if you enjoyed what you saw today. Be sure to hit the subscribe button so we can reach that first subscriber milestone for this channel of 1,000 subscribers. That's the big milestone for any channel. We're going to try to hurry up and rush this channel there, and you can help us by clicking that subscribe button. And then normally I would talk about channel memberships, but this channel doesn't have that, so my standard blurb is not exactly applicable here. Anyways, I really appreciate you guys sitting down and watching this video about our trailer. Be sure to go watch our first video where I talk about myself and how I got here and all of that, and then be sure to come back for the next videos where we're going to talk about some of the projects we've already done and some of the future projects we would like to do. So again, thank you very much for watching. Be sure to come back and watch our continuing updates as we hopefully move towards getting on the road, and I'll see you for the next one.